All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the drive-through. Okay, a special Thanksgiving break return version of the drive-through, sponsored as always by the deli. Kicking off the deli with some deer chili today, and I'm excited for it. Okay, so this is true-false review for your Chapter 6 test. So we're going to go through each one of these. Two lines must intersect or be parallel. That is false. That is what a skew line is. Okay? So you could think, I'm going to draw a lot of boxes for these problems. Look at this line and this line. They do not intersect. They are not parallel. They are skew. Okay? That is why that is false. B, in a plane, two lines perpendicular to the same line are parallel. In a plane, so I can draw this picture because I am in a plane right now. I'm drawing it in a plane. Okay, I'm drawing it on a board. Two lines perpendicular to the same line are parallel. That is true. C, in space, two lines perpendicular to the same line are parallel. That is false. So all three of these first examples deal with how specific you have to read this test, okay? This line is perpendicular to that line, wouldn't you agree? And this line is also perpendicular to that line. Wouldn't you agree? But hopefully you do not think that the original lime highlighted line is parallel to this light pink line. Those two lines are skew, and that is why C is false. D, if a line is perpendicular to a plane, it is perpendicular to every line in the plane. That is false. Draw myself a plane there. Draw myself a green line that is perpendicular to the plane. There clearly exists at least one line. In fact, there are infinitely many lines in that plane that are in the plane but are not perpendicular to the green line because they don't intersect each other. You down with that one? E. It is possible for two planes to intersect at one point. That is false. Remember, planes go on forever in every direction. So planes always intersect to form what? To form a line. Okay? No picture included. F. If a line is perpendicular to a line in a plane, then it is perpendicular to the plane. That is false. It's got to be perpendicular to at least how many lines at a given point? To at least two. So you can conceivably think about, this is going to be kind of a hard picture to draw. Okay, you got a plane there. You got a purple line inside of that plane. I could take a line and have it be forming a right angle between the red line and the purple line, but have that angle be, let's say, let me draw the shadow of that red line right below it, and have that angle be something. And there, I'm trying to draw, the red line is perpendicular to the purple line, but the red line is not perpendicular to the plane. Okay? In fact, maybe you can imagine rotating this red line around the purple line in a circle. It could stay perpendicular to it without, so I don't know, this is going to be a failure, epic proportion. If you could think about like rotating that thing, it could stay perpendicular to the purple line and only be perpendicular to the plane at 2 points on that circle. I told you it would be a failure. G, two lines perpendicular to the same line are parallel. This is a combination of two of the other ones. This is how we're kind of training you guys to be programmers or lawyers, because remember, computers can't think for themselves. You have to tell them exactly what you want them to do. So, same thing here. Lawyers have to interpret statements exactly as they are written. Two lines perpendicular to the same line are parallel. That is false, because those two lines, once again, this line is perpendicular to this line, and the red line is also perpendicular to the purple line, but the blue line is not perpendicular to the purple line, and that is the example that proves that false. A triangle is a plane figure. Is it made up of three non-collinear points? Yes. Is it made up of two non-parallel lines? Yes. So by those two alone, we know that that is true. What are the other two ways to determine a plane? A line and a point not on that line. That kind of describes a triangle. And the only one we don't have is two parallel lines. I didn't say that because a triangle isn't made of two parallel lines. Okay, that was H. I. A line that is perpendicular. Perpendicular. Have a great day. I'll finish this up and post it. A line that is perpendicular to a horizontal line is vertical. That's false. Okay, I can draw you a horizontal line, and I can draw you a line that's also horizontal coming right out. Trying to make this three-dimensional. And that green line and the blue line are both horizontal, if you will. I don't even like that term, horizontal. Next, J, three parallel lines must be coplanar. That is false. False. Okay, here we've got the top two lines are on the same plane, and the front two lines are on the same plane, but all three of those lines are not on the same plane. A couple more, maybe just one. Nope, this is the last one. Okay, this is false. It's extremely hard to draw if you're not good at math or you're not Van Gogh. Sorry, good at math. Sorry if you're not good at art. Think of this shape, but that's not going to help you. Think of taking two pencils in your hand and then connecting the tips of the pencils with strings and the erasers of the pencils with strings. And now pull them so you make a rectangle out of that. That is obviously a plane. Now rotate them, and what you have is no longer a plane. It's this strange surface. That's what I was trying to do there, but I can't draw it for you. Hopefully that helps. Boom!